Saturday morning, and it is time to talk technology because we are kicking off the Experts program here on Power Talk Radio, and Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, gets us going every Saturday morning. Good morning, Luis.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Doing well. Boy, it's a beautiful weekend. Does that mean you're going to be out on the boat?
We have a race tomorrow. So, yeah, Sunday we will be out there racing, weather permitting. It looks like the forecast is great. So I expect to be out on the boat on Sunday.
Much wind going to be out there?
Yeah, actually, it's going to be pretty decent. It's going to be about 10 knots with gusts of up to 14 or 15. So pretty ideal conditions for a Shields race.
So what time do you guys start?
We start getting out there around noon, but the first race starts at 1 o'clock.
Okay, so watch for all the little boats out on the bay around 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
There'll be a bunch of us out there for a while.
All right. Hey, we've got a really interesting story about UFOs that I want to get to in just a moment. But before we do that, I wanted to get your take on a cybersecurity thing, and it's a new scam that hackers want people to click on, and it primarily comes to us through Facebook Messenger. You know, you'll be sitting there doing whatever, and your phone goes bling, and it's something on Facebook Messenger, and it's from a friend of yours, a contact, and it says, "Guess who died?" And then there's a link for you to click on. And you're thinking, oh my, I wonder who. Maybe it's a celebrity or it's somebody we both know, and so on and so forth. So you click on it. Well, that's the worst possible thing you could do, Luis, because apparently this is a brand new hack. It's some sort of Trojan horse or malware that it's going to put on your phone or your computer. So just don't click on it.
Never click on a link from a source that you don't usually get links from. And, some people's Facebook pages get hijacked specifically to push those links out to the contacts that person has. So if they take control of somebody's Facebook page, which is not that unusual, it happens pretty much every day, then they can pretend to be that person and send out these links to everybody in their contacts. But the recipients say, well, I know Mary is her account on Facebook and we're friends, so let me click on it. But never click on a link. Just respond with who died if you want to really know.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, there's a scam that a couple folks that I know earlier this year got caught up with in TikTok, where it was the same thing. It's like, is this you? And it had a link to a video.
Right.
And we all want to know, where did they see me? And they clicked on that, and it immediately took control of your TikTok account if you had one, right, and started bombarding all your friends with that same link. And the idea behind it is it can implanting Trojan malware in your PC or even on your phone, and then start to extract data. So never click on links.
That's right. And the other thing too is, even if it's someone you know really well and they send you a link, I would call them. And I've done this before. Mm-hmm. I've picked up the phone and actually called the person and said, hey, did you just send me on Messenger a link about such and such? And in every case, they've said no. So even if it's someone that you correspond with quite often, that you know really well, you should still call them. And I would even be careful about texting them, because if someone has gotten hold of their telephone number and is routing their texts to themselves, some hacker, they'll respond in the affirmative. Yeah, I sent that to you. Go ahead and click on it. I would actually, and I know this goes counter to how modern people like to live. Nobody wants to make a telephone call to talk to anyone on the phone anymore. They want to do everything via texting. But there are some instances where you need to be old school, old fashioned. Call them and say, did you just send this to me? Get the affirmative action that way. And I will tell you 100% of the time, it is always a scam. The other one that's a scam is the Facebook Messenger message that you receive about some government program giving away lots of money. I got mine. Did you get yours? You need to get yours. Click here. Oh my God. Boy, that just screams that it's a scam.
Definitely, it's somebody trying to take something from you or have you do something that's going to cost you even worse down the road. So your advice about making that phone call is really the best way to do it, even for those of us that are hesitant to actually talk to other people. It's worthwhile.
Yes. Hey, the Pentagon has unveiled shocking new, this is the headline in MSN, but shocking new UFO footage in congressional hearings. So was Art Bell right?
Maybe. So this is the first public hearing that Congress has had on the UFO phenomenon in like 50 years. The last time they did this was back in 1968. And it was really eye-opening in that all these intelligence officials that were being questioned by Congress people just said, yeah, there's stuff out there that we don't know what it is. They categorize them into different buckets. And one of the biggest buckets is, we don't know what this is, and it could be extraterrestrial. We just don't know. They showed a couple of videos, and one of them was an F-18 with pilot and his second guy in the back of the plane, and they were watching this object just kind of move across across the sky and they were filming it and they were like, what the hell? How's this thing doing this? And then if you can see the video, it flips around and starts going and starts rotating. It's very weird. And it's just like what we hear about UFOs. But what they're trying to do, Congress passed a law last year to force the Pentagon to establish an Office of Unidentifiable Aerial Phenomenon, UAPs, which is the new name for UFO, because they felt like there was a lot of stigmatization around people reporting these incidents. And it's becoming a national security thing, because if somebody sees something and doesn't report it because they don't want to be seen as Looney Tunes, then there's opportunities that are going to be missed. So this is a way to make it so that airline pilots or military pilots or anybody that sees something that's unusual, and there were reports of things out in the desert during Desert Storm and all sorts of different things that were revealed at this hearing. But you're going to start to see more and more of these videos come out from the Pentagon. And I'm very interested to see what they say and what we see.
This is going to be fascinating as we get more of this information, because we've heard for years about UFOs, the most famous being Roswell, and then, of course, Area 51 in the Nevada desert. But a lot of times what it's turned out to be is these might be secret black budget projects of our military or other militaries. I've thought about it this way, that it is less about the government not wanting us to know that there are aliens from space possibly visiting us, but it's more like the Chinese or the Russians have invented something. We don't know how to counter it. It's really incredible, and I think that would more scare people than UFOs, than little green men from outer space.
Yeah, exactly. If some foreign power has these super duper weapons and we can't detect them or stop them, then that's much scarier than little men. Absolutely.
So this is a story we'll definitely keep an eye on, and I want to thank you for bringing this to our attention today.
Well, you are very welcome. It's love UFOs and love science fiction, so I'm really interested to see where this goes.
Hey, is there a great UFO movie that you really enjoy that you would recommend people watching?
Oh, well, gosh, so many. I loved E.T., an older movie, but it still, I think, has legs on there. And of course, what's that famous one with, it's a black and white movie.
The Day the Earth Stood Still?
Exactly. Yeah. That's actually been remade a couple times, but the original to me is actually the best one.
Yeah, with Patricia Neal and Michael Rennie.
Yeah, so highly recommend it.
One other thing I just wanted to mention here while we have a moment, and it has nothing to do with what we've been talking about, but it's just a security thing. We talk a lot about web security and so forth, but as we are living in a time where we're seeing rampant inflation, we are seeing gas prices going up every day. You go to the gas station, the price has gone up 5 or 6 cents a gallon from the day before. Mm-hmm. What we are hearing about now, Lewis, more and more is at night in people's neighborhoods, thieves are coming around and they are stealing gasoline out of people's cars, particularly those that have to be parked on the street. If you have to park on the street, you don't have any security cameras or anything like that, I feel badly for you. It's really hard to insure against this kind of thing happening. But if you're able to park your car in your driveway and you don't have a motion sensing light above your garage door, go to the hardware store and buy one this weekend and install it. Now, it's the only thing that it does, of course, is if it lights up the area, it makes it less likely that thief is going to want to steal from your vehicle. They might go down the street or something like that. And then the other thing, too, is if you notice that there are street lamps that are burned out on your street, or maybe there's a really dark spot on your street, you and your neighbors, you might want to petition to your local government officials at City Hall. Hey, we need a new street lamp. We either need the bulbs replaced or we need one added. I know in my neighborhood about a month ago, a friend of mine was visiting from out of town, and he said he drove over from Fresno and he used half a tank of gas coming over. And then the next morning he got in his car to drive down to downtown Monterey, and he said there was no gas left in the vehicle. That overnight someone had come to his vehicle, and it's pretty dark on my street, and they had siphoned the gasoline out of his tank. I see more of this happening as these prices continue skyrocketing. And by the way, I think that a locking gas cap is a bad idea, the ones that you can buy. And here's why. Because if the people are as desperate as they are to go stealing gasoline and they are presented with a locking gas cap, they might just decide to punch a hole in your tank and drain the gas that way. And if you have to replace a gas tank, it's $1,500 to $2,000. So rather than lock your gas cap, you might be better off losing $100 worth of gasoline than having to replace a tank.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, sometimes we want to protect ourselves and protect things, but you got to be smart about it and not give thieves a reason to damage something that they're going to get to anyway.
Right. Exactly. All right. Luis Alvarez has been with us. He's the CEO of the Alvarez Alvarez Technology Group. Online, it's alvareztg.com. At AlvarezTG, that is the Twitter handle. Louis, the toll-free number for the I-Team.
Give us a call at 866-78-I-TEAM. That's 866-784-8326.
And by the way, coming up on Monday morning on the program, we're going to talk about some really brand new high-tech grocery carts that are coming to Albertsons stores, and we'll tell you about that Monday morning beginning in the 8 o'clock hour. Thanks very much, Louis, and have a great weekend.
You too, my friend. Take care.